Please, watch this short video outlining some useful information about bridge strikes and how to avoid hitting low bridges. This good practice guide is intended to give guidance to professional drivers so that bridge strikes can be prevented and to provide advice on the risks and consequences of bridge strikes. Let's look at the numbers. There are more than 2,000 bridge strikes every year in Britain. Railway bridges are struck 5 times every day on average across Britain, causing almost 500,000 minutes of delays for rail passengers. Nearly half of lorry drivers surveyed, 43%, admit to not measuring their vehicle before taking to the road. More than half, 52%, do not take low bridges into account when driving. In research conducted by Network Rail, lack of knowledge was the most common cause of bridge strikes. After some surveys were carried out, 32% of drivers don't know the vehicle height. 8% of drivers don't believe the signage. 9% of drivers face inadequate signage. 22% reported poor route planning. 11% reported poor information about low bridges when planning a route. 15% of drivers did not understand the signs. And 3% of drivers had other reasons, for example using a car sat-nav. Let's take a look at the consequences of bridge strikes. Disruption to rail services, danger to passengers. Disruption and delays on adjoining roads. Drivers can be prosecuted for bridge strikes, resulting in loss of license or, in worst-case scenario, imprisonment. Companies are liable for the cost of examining the bridge, repairing the damage as well as recovering the vehicle and its load. Companies are also liable for the cost of delayed and cancelled rail services. In Birmingham, Network Rail said repeated bridge strikes forced a road closure for nearly 5 months while repairs were made. Another example is in Peterborough, where a railway bridge has had to close for a year after being struck 12 times in 2019. Drivers who are careless or negligent in causing their vehicle to strike a bridge face a call to a driver conduct hearing. Could see penalties including the revocation of their vocational license. Could be disqualified from holding such an entitlement for 6 months. It's become a focus for traffic commissioners, stating the number of bridge strikes as unacceptable. Tough bridge strike penalties for drivers detailed by Senior Traffic Commissioner. Mitigatory factors may be considered by a TC to reduce the penalty imposed. As an example, where a driver is unfamiliar with the specific route to be followed and was distracted by the weather and road conditions, a TC might instead impose a 2-month suspension of vocational entitlement. Traffic commissioners address these incidents in the same way as any other serious incident, on a case-by-case basis. Regulatory action hangs over operators and drivers who fail to take appropriate action. Senior TC Richard Turfitt states, bridge strike reports received by his office will be followed up. Let's look at the costs involved in a bridge strike. Sorting out the aftermath of a bridge strike, costs on average per bridge strike, £13,000. Estimated cost to the UK economy per annum is £23 million. Network Rail now able to claim the cost of a bridge strike from companies. Costs including inspections to the bridge, road infrastructure, any repairs required, train delays, damage to vehicles, other road users and to the load itself. In the event of a strike, the company will likely be investigated by the DVSA and in some cases, the company and driver could face criminal prosecution. Take a look at these cost examples. Prevention of bridge strikes. You commit an offense if the overall traveling height of your vehicle is over 3 meters and the correct maximum height is not displayed in the cab. Remember, your vehicle height can change for a variety of reasons, for example, adjustment of the fifth wheel, trailer loaded, unloaded or reloaded. Avoid shortcuts to save time as this may lead you to a low bridge. Use an LGV-specific satellite navigation system. Don't rely on a system designed for cars as these will not avoid low bridges. Stop and seek advice on an alternative route. If you are diverted from your planned route, realize that your route is obstructed by a bridge lower than your vehicle. Know your vehicle height and width. Know your route. Obey traffic signs. Flat soffit bridges. Signs should be roundels on the bridge, immediately in advance of the bridge. Roundel signs prohibit. They mean, do not pass this sign if your vehicle is higher than the dimension shown. Dimension will be either imperial only or metric and imperial. Advance signs come in several forms. Advance signs give warning of a restriction at a named location, a distance from the sign. An alternative route may be indicated. Arch bridges. Signs should be triangular on the bridge immediately in advance of the bridge. Triangular signs warn. They mean, you should not pass this sign if your vehicle is higher than the dimension shown. Dimension will be either imperial only, metric only, used with an imperial only sign, or metric and imperial. Arch bridges and road markings. Arch bridges have chord marks, goalposts, to indicate the limits of the signed height under the bridge. Road markings also indicate these limits. Advance road markings and sign instruct high vehicles to use the center of the road. The video clip you will watch shortly is one of our vehicles. This happened due to driver complacency. The driver had driven through the tunnel before, but from the other direction, where there is a footpath, forcing the vehicle into the middle of the tunnel. See the footpath on the left. Due to the path being there, it moves him into the center of the arch. The driver had traveled through the tunnel from this direction before and had no issues. On this occasion, the driver was approaching from the other direction. Look out for the markings and signs above the entrance to the tunnel, highlighted with the red arrows. The driver should have waited for the cars to pass and then entered the tunnel between these markings. You can see here the damage to the near side top of the trailer. These type of incidents directly cost the business, due to the insurance premiums going up, and the cost of having the trailer off the road for repairs to be carried out. These incidents are completely avoidable. Arch bridges advance traffic signs. Triangular signs which show an arch may be provided near the bridge. Dimension will be either imperial only, an imperial sign above a metric sign. There is no dual dimension equivalent. Triangular signs may give warning of a restriction at a named location, or a distance from the sign. Be on the lookout for signage. As a professional driver, you are expected to be better than other road users. What you need to do if a bridge strike occurs. On the approach to bridges with a vehicle height restriction, signs might be provided to give you advance warning of the restriction. This is to help you take an alternative route avoiding the low bridge. You should be aware, however, that advance warning signs are not provided at all low bridges. If a bridge strike occurs at a railway bridge. Step 1. Report the bridge strike to the rail authority immediately so that trains may be stopped from crossing the bridge. Telephone the number shown on the identification plate on the bridge. Do not wait until you return to your depot before reporting the bridge strike. Step 2. Advise the police using the 999 system. Any road traffic collision that causes damage to a third party must be reported. Each bridge strike causes damage to a bridge, and must therefore be reported. Step 3. Report the bridge strike to your manager. Keep the public away and do not move your vehicle. If a bridge strike occurs at any other bridge, report the bridge strike to the police using the 999 system and then your manager. Keep the public away and do not move your vehicle. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. If you have any questions regarding anything in this video, or regarding bridge strikes, please reach out to anyone within the training team, or your site manager. Finally, there is a document in your Samsara documents for you to sign, to confirm that you have watched and understood the training video and that you have had the opportunity to ask any questions that you may have. This video will also be available through the MT Training tile in the Samsara app. This will take you to our YouTube channel.